for any white person who is sort of like on their journey of anti-racism, it's a process of growth and acknowledging your own ignorance, right? And the most embarrassing ones are not the ones that you know you're ignorant about. It's the things that you don't even realize that you're ignorant about.
I'm not sure exactly how familiar you were with Octavia Butler's novel when first going for the role, but what was it about Brandon's script that really stood out to you?
I was familiar with Octavia Butler's book, and I was a huge fan. I love Fledgling. That was kind of my introduction to Octavia Butler's work and, her imaginative, creative, and amazing brain. But when I had saw that it was Brandon working on the show, I already knew how brilliant and imaginative and creative he was as well. So I was just excited to just get a glimpse at his adaptation. I knew it was going to be great. But when I had saw the changes that were made, it actually didn't surprise me or shock me or make me question why they were there. It just created a sense of excitement and thrill about the possibilities of how that expanded Octavia Butler's story. So I was really actually excited when I read it.
I like to think that, the narrative shifts that Brandon made were and are a reflection of our present day being the 2000 teens as opposed to the late 1970s, right? The largest theme in Octavia's novel is how does our past inform our present? And, because our present is ever shifting, and especially now, the way that society is, grappling with all these things that previously we tried to just shove under the rug, I think it's especially palpable. And a lot of those shifts, were just a result of heightening that mirror and making sure that the mirror we were holding up wasn't a dated one. We don't need to look at the social dynamics in regards to race as they were from 1978 to 1815. We need to look at them from now to 1815, because unfortunately they're still present.
One of the changes, narratively, that was really interesting to me is us meeting you guys when you are meeting, rather than already firmly established in your relationship. And so I was wondering, Mallori, for you, how do you feel that changes Dana's reaction to Kevin, in comparison to, say, her family, who she's known all her life, and then this guy that she's just met?
I think that's one of the main things that really draws me and makes me feel connected to Kevin in this story, is the fact that he's kind of her person. He's this person who is key to her survival in the past, but also kind of key to her survival in the present as well. She's isolated. She doesn't even have her family's support. Her family thinks she's crazy. And here's this guy who she's just met, who is also the only person who actually believes what is happening to her. So it just kind of deepens her relationship with Kevin throughout the story, for sure.
Micah, Kevin is a white man who's having to literally face full frontal, the depths of racism and the terribleness of slavery. And at the same time, you are a white man kind of metatextually experiencing that. Did you kind of go through... I know. Surprise. Did it make you rethink anything about, you were saying, why it's important in this day and age and how our society reflects on itself?
I mean, certainly. I mean, the truth is that, I think for any white person who is sort of on their journey of anti-racism, it's a process of growth and acknowledging your own ignorance, right? And the most embarrassing ones are not the ones that you know you're ignorant about. It's the things that you don't even realize that you're ignorant about. And I think that's something that, for Kevin, all of those, ignorances are sort of brought to light to him all at once. I think for me as a white artist, being let into a Black-led space too, it was frankly a real privilege to be able to be let into that. I think my Black colleagues and our Black creators and leaders, there was no point at which it felt like, well, no, you couldn't possibly understand because of your privilege, et cetera. I felt extremely let in, and I think that allowed me, to advance in my thought, maybe quicker than I would have otherwise.
Mallori, I really love Dana's dynamic with Olivia and getting to explore that in a new and interesting way. Can you talk about working with Sharia and really like how Dana feels faced with this part of her past?
Yeah, working with Sharia is a dream. I love her. She's actually like, if Mike is my big brother, Sharia's literally my big sister. She really took me under her wing. It was such a joy working with her. Every time we stepped on the set and did a scene together, it was like we were doing a basketball game. I mean, like I really got to, play with her. But at the same time, I love that addition so much because it just shows how much Dana needs a family. She's not only saving her ancestral line and saving herself and her existence in this world, but she's also, fighting, to have a mother. And that's something that's really beautiful and kind of the emotional the thing that shows, Dana's most vulnerable side, really, is her need for her mother.
While I don't think anyone would want to travel to some point in the past to be treated horribly and not be able to leave, for educational purposes, is there any place you'd like to learn more about firsthand, if you could? Place or time?
That's a really good way to pose that question. Do you know what I mean? Because it's
know more about.
Because it's acknowledging the fact that going back in time would suck pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would be scared to go like as a Black person, I just would be scared to go to any era that isn't like incredibly modern. But I would say like, honestly, I really love the 90s. I know it's not that long ago, but I loved it. The music was so dope. The clothes were really dope. So I would want to go back there for sure.
Yeah. The 90s weren't great for me. I was a nerd in suburban Ohio.
Okay. Cool.
But that's why I'm here today.
That's beautiful. Thank you, 90s, for making my happiest day.
Thank you, 90s. And that's what we want people to walk away with from this show.
Is sponsored by the 90s.
Thank you, 90s.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. You were fabulous, and so is the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice chatting you.
Yeah.
Have a great day.